period, Lent and Ramadan at the same time this year, a rare occurrence that has sparked conversations about faith, reflection, and unity across religious communities. Our correspondent, Jesu Tofumi Oni, has more on this.
This is the first time that Lent and Ramadan coincide since the year 1993, making it a once in 33 years occurrence. And then today, we are speaking to clergy across both religions.
The Christian Lenten fast and Muslim Ramadan fasts are taking place at the same time, highlighting shared values of sacrifice and discipline. The rare overlaps has sparkled different interpretations among faith leaders. Islamic cleric Alhaji Muhammad Kasali describes the convergence as symbolic, saying it reflects peace and unity, and emphasizes that fasting involves moral discipline beyond abstaining from food.
This fasting in the month of Ramadan is obligatory, compulsory, what Muslims must do, because in Islamic tradition we have farahid, which is obligatory, and then we have sunnah, which is supererogatory. Obligatory is the one that compulsory to do. So all Muslims are enjoined to fast in the month of Ramadan, which is 9th month of the lunar month. Fasting in the month of Ramadan is totally abstain from foods, drinks, and some other things that can break fast. Breaking fast is not only by food or drink. There are some other things that can break fast, like telling lies, backbiting, some habits that you had that will spoil your fast.
A Catholic priest, Reverend Father Charles Onyekachuku, however, says the timing is coincidental, noting that Lent and Ramadan usually occur separately through the spiritual focus of Lent on prayer and repentance remain unchanged.
The Lenten time is a particular time set apart, 40 days set apart by the Catholic Church as a moment of intensively looking into the heart of Christ and see what he has done for us, and then look into ourselves and see what are obstacles that will make us not to be in union with him. And that's what those things we fast on. So when we talk about fasting means not just absence from food and drink. It's absence of excessive things we do. Even some good things we do, we can also fast on them. For example, if you are drinking 10 bottles of beer in a day, you may not get drunk, but if you, for the Lent, let me drink one and take four and distribute to other people, is also something beautiful. So fasting is basically for us a moment of dropping things that are obstacles on my relationship with God and relationship with my fellow brothers and sisters.
Also speaking on the significance of Ramadan and the Lenten season, Abdulrahman Oladejo and Daniel said the coincidence showcased unity and love to prove that Christianity and Islamic are united.
To me, I don't see it as coincidence actually, but because it's what, even before Ramadan, like it's what I always practice to do, So I don't see it as anything.
Yeah, well, taking out religion, I think we should still be united, but then since it's happening at the same time, I think there is more room for acceptance and, accepting ourselves. So, yes, more room for unity.
I feel generally, as people would have it out there, they feel Ramadan fasting and also Lent fasting helps to foster a very good relationship with their creator. And personally, my own take on this, because I'm not a religious fanatic, my take personally on fasting is basically to abstain from certain things and consecrate, that is, spend quality time with God the Father.
Despite differing views, both leaders agree that the season calls for reflections.
As Lent and Ramadan oppose together, religious leader says fasting is about discipline, compassion, and peaceful coexistence. It sends a strong message of unity, reminding Nigerians that shared values can strengthen tolerance and community beyond religious lines. Jesu Tofumi Oni, reporting from African News 24 TV.
In other news, Petroleum marketers and the Dangote refinery have been trading words over a recent increase in the former depot price of petrol. The adjustment follows rising global crude oil prices linked to tensions between the United States and Iran. The refinery raised the price by about 75 naira per litre, explaining that the move was necessary due to the surge in international crude oil prices. However, marketers, including members of the Major Energies Marketers Association of Nigeria, criticized the increase, arguing that the imported petrol could still be cheaper than the locally refined product. Now in corruption, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has revealed that about 100 senior lawyers are currently being prosecuted for corruption-related offenses in Nigeria. Olukoyede made this known in Abuja during the annual lecture of the Body of Benchers. He said the anti-graft agencies had received several petitions against lawyers, with some cases involving diversion of clients' funds and helping others to launder money. Meanwhile, the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee also announced that 17 lawyers were sanctioned in 2025 for professional misconduct. According to the committee, 3 lawyers were removed from the role of legal practitioners, while others received suspension ranging from 2 to 5 years. And to this interesting story of a physically challenged man who is now sharing his story of how he's converting his challenge to strength and advantage. Our correspondent spoke with the man on the pedestrian bridge in the Ojota area of Lagos, an environment he has always kept clean. Check this out.
My name is Latif Hassan. I came from Ogun State, Abeokuta. So I started sleeping in 2025, let's say 2025. I started sleeping so that I can see what I can eat. Because my family, they are Lagos here. My mom is there for Lagos, but they don't want to see me because I'm like this. Mom is there for Lagos, there for this Lagos. But because as I have one leg, you don't want to see me. That's why I run away for her. I don't want to. That's why I used to sleep big for anywhere so that I can see what I can eat. I go to primary school in Abeokuta. Primary school, BMA, Bachelor Moshood Abiola, Northern Primary School and Secondary School at Abeokuta. So when I finish primary school, I go learn work, learn cobbler, how to build farms, how to build shoe like this, man shoe. So I finish the work, no one to help. That's why I come Lagos to come and find small things so that I can start my work. I come Lagos, I do conductor, do like back to my 12. So do like back to my 12. After that, I still say the money will not pay for. After when I work, do everything. And the end of the day, then they give me 3,500, 4,000. The money will not take me to anything. So that's why I say, and the 1 hour they do too much. If I finish, I want my body be paying me good. But this one, if I just sit down for one place, begin the sick, so I can see what I can eat. I started sipping this breed last 2 years, 2024, till now. So that is what I do to survive. If I be sick, that's how people used to give me money. So that's why people used to help me. If I don't sleep, I will not shop. So I know if you just sit down, say make people they give me money. No fit. That's why I used to find something to do so that I can carry them they feed so that I can see something what I go eat. So that's how I pay they feed myself. Nobody they feed. I'm the one that I feeding myself. At times I see 5,000, 7,000. I will enter motor, go my place. I used to stay for Ukwaba. That's I again Ukwaba. I used to turn 4 times or 5 times a week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I used to turn 4 days inside week. I used to pay rent. The rent I used to pay 7,000 in a month. So if I work every day, I used to keep money so that I can pay money for the rent. Because I cannot sleep for outside. I cannot sleep for bus stop. So anytime I finish, I used to go my house, go and sleep. And that's why.
Welcome to business. President Bola Tinubu has announced that the federal government has reached a settlement agreement with ENI and Nigerian Ajib Exploration Limited over the long-running dispute on oil prospecting license. The agreement was announced during a meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Those present included ENI's Chief Operating Officer, Gildo Brusco, and other senior officials from the company and the Nigerian government. The settlement ends a dispute that lasted for more than 15 years and clears the way for the development of the Zabazaba Etan Deepwater Oil Project. The project is expected to add about 150 barrels of oil per day to Nigeria's production capacity and boost the country's long-term energy outlook. Still in business, some senior policymakers, regulators, and industry leaders have convened at the Insurance Sector Transformation Consultative Forum 2026 to discuss reforms aimed at strengthening Nigeria's insurance industry. The forum focused on strategies to boost insurance adoption, rebuild consumer trust, and drive growth across the sector. Our next report tells more.
Makers, regulators, and industry leaders today convened at the Insurance Sector Transformation Consultative Forum 2026, a landmark industry gathering aimed at accelerating reforms, rebuilding consumer trust, and unlocking the full potential of Nigeria's insurance industry. The high-level forum held on Thursday brought together key stakeholders from government, regulatory institutions, financial services, and the broader insurance ecosystem to deliberate on practical strategies to transform the sector under the theme, driving collective advocacy for the transformation of Nigeria's insurance industry. The consultative section convened by Enterprise NGO in collaboration with the Nigeria Insurance and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry featured contributions from prominent policymakers and industry leaders who charted the pathway for growth and reform in the insurance sector. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Senator Tokumbo Habiru, chairman of the Enterprise NGO High-Budget and Commissioner for Insurance, Chief Executive Officer of the National Insurance Commission, Olusegun Omoseyin, emphasized the urgent need for coordinated reforms, stronger industry collaboration, and innovative approaches to expand insurance adoption and improve public confidence in the sector.
The transformation is no longer optional, so it has to commence now. And given the level of work that has been done at the regulatory end, it then becomes obvious that we needed that platform of collaboration across every stakeholder in the financial services and professional ecosystem to ensure that, look, the much desired transformation is giving meaning. And this has, several aspects to it. But the more important thing is the level of collaboration that is required to ensure that this transformation is real. It should no longer be by word of mouth, but concrete actions that will make it happen.
The essence of this gathering to me is to begin to now go beyond just putting in the law in place, but to now begin to implement all of the pieces of legislation that you have in the law. And that's the only way you can move the insurance industry forward.
The whole idea is to achieve a level of relevance of insurance in the economy that is much higher than what it is today. And right now we're under 1%, let us say, penetration in terms of insurance, to GDP ratio, insurance premiums to GDP ratio. When you compare us to other countries in Africa, some are at almost 3%, so up to 11%.
The president and chairman of Council of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, Yetunde Lori, Director General of the Nigeria Insurers Association, Bola Odukale, and other regulators underscored the importance of collective action across regulators, policymakers, insurers, brokers, and other stakeholders to address structural barriers limiting insurance penetration and to strengthen the sector's contribution to Nigeria's economic development.
This is a kind of collaboration where we are all supposed to do it together. Because as strong as the banking sector, the capital sector can be, that codes that are provided means we insurance can bring you all down. And if nobody wants to go down, we rather want to move forward and also upward.
When you are talking of transformation, you actually need people that you collaborate with. You really can't do anything just all by yourself. And for us as an industry, collaboration is key, and this is very important to us. And we think it's going to have a lot of impact, on the ability to deepen insurance penetration in Nigeria, and also for our industry to continue to give value to the insuring public there.
The forum comes at a critical moment for Nigeria's insurance industry. Participants at the forum examined the key factors responsible for low adoption of insurance products in Nigeria, including limited consumer awareness, trust deficits driven by claim disputes, and inefficiencies in customer experience. Senior policymakers, regulators, and industry leaders today convened at the Insurance Sector Transformation Consultative Forum 2026.
On the foreign scene, several evangelical Christian leaders have gathered at the Oval Office to pray with the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, amid the ongoing tensions between the country and Iran. The prayer session was organized by Paula White-Cain, who heads the White House Office on Faith. About 20 religious leaders attended the meeting. Pastor Tom Mullins led the prayer, asking God to protect Trump, guard the country, and support U.S. troops involved in military operations. And in the Middle East, the Iranian ambassador Gulareza Raja has rejected comments by United States President Donald Trump, suggesting that the U.S. should be involved in deciding Iran's next leader after the death of Ali Khamenei, their former leader. Speaking at a press conference, the ambassador said Iran would decide its leadership and future without interference from any foreign country. Raja accused the United States of frequently interfering in Iran's internal affairs and stressed that Iran is an independent nation that will not allow outside influence in its political affairs. The ambassador further described the recent attack on Iran by Israel and the United States as a violation of international law and the United Nations Charter. He said Iran has the right to defend itself but remains committed to peace and stability in the region. Welcome to Sport. Basketball star LeBron James has set a new record for the most field goal in the National Football Association history. James surpassed the previous record of 15,837 field goals held by Kareem Jabbar during the first quarter of Thursday's game. Despite the historic milestone, James's team, the Los Angeles Lakers, lost 120 to 113 to the Denver Nuggets. The 41-year-old scored 16 points in the game and briefly left the court after injuring his left elbow in the fourth quarter. However, he returned to play the final minutes of the match. James, who already holds the NBA's all-time scoring records, has played a record 23 seasons and has recently hinted that retirement could be near. And to soccer, the Confederation of African Football is considering alternative countries to host the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations following uncertainty over Morocco's ability to organize the tournament. CAF recently announced that the competition, initially scheduled for March 17 to April 3, 2026, has been postponed. The new dates are now July 25th to August 16. Moroccan authorities had earlier informed CAF that the country could not host the tournament in March due to logistical issues and clashes with other football events. Because of the uncertainty, CAF has reportedly explored other options, including South Africa, which has indicated readiness to host the tournament if Morocco eventually withdraws. CAF President Patrice Motsepe said preparations for the competition are still ongoing and expressed confidence that the tournament will be successful when it finally holds. On entertainment, popular Nollywood actor Francis Odega has said the movies produced in the early years of Nollywood were better than many films being released today. He was speaking during an interview where he said older movies had stronger stories and were produced more carefully. According to him, filmmakers in the past usually used one script to produce one complete movie. However, he said many producers today stretched one script into several parts, which weakens the story and reduces the quality of the film. Odega described many modern movies as watery, adding that it is better to produce one strong and engaging film than several weak ones. The actor, who has spent more than 30 years in the industry, also said he was among the pioneers who built Nollywood. He explained that the industry's professional body was first called the Nigerian Actors Guide, before it later became the Actors Guide of Nigeria.
Nollywood then is better than Nollywood now. Yeah, because then we can do a movie, one script can just give you one movie. But now one script can give you 7 movies, which is not right. It's watery. So it's better you do one movie that is tight, that is a hook. But now I can use one movie and make it watery.
And that'll be all for now. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms as displayed on your screen and on our website at africanews24.ng. I am Praise Ayra Starr. Good afternoon.